You know, I have to say I love doing this homework as far as finding out what perfumes layer really well with body washes. Guess what we're talking about today? In today's video, we shall discuss Caress Daily Silky Moisturizing Body Wash. Well, I almost said lotion. Today, we shall discuss perfumes that layer well, perfumes that pair really well with Caress Daily Silk Moisturizing Body Wash. I wanted to say lotion again. That's besides the point. So without further ado, and the OGs know when I talk like that, I'm not going to hold you any longer. Coco Mademoiselle. That is from Chanel. I had guessed, I'm like, well, I think that's by Chanel. When I began doing my homework, I'm like, this is from Chanel. Now, while I'm going to make a distinction here and I'm going to add some context. And the reason why I need to add context is because I want to make sure I'm being honest throughout, which is what I've been doing throughout this whole entire channel to the best of my ability. I have tried Coco Mademoiselle, but a dupe as a alcohol-free perfume oil. So these are my recommendations based off of that and off of any other fragrance that I state in this video where I state it's an oil. Unless I state otherwise, I've tried the original. Got it? Good. We'll find it back. So Coco Mademoiselle, and we're going to go over the notes really soon. I feel like it's a nice, fresh, airy, light fragrance, but it's not so light to the point that you can barely smell it, where you got to smell really hard and concentrate. You ever smell something like that where it just, y'all say they smell good, but I can barely, like Baccarat Rouge 540. Like, people's like, I'd rather get the X straight over the original. Hey, that's not shade. It's a very nice fragrance. I've tried a dupe to that, and I have walked past someone in church, okay, and smell the original. Like, it's such a distinctive, recognizable fragrance. Baccarat Rouge 540. I was trying to find them. That's besides the point. Coco Mademoiselle, in my opinion, smells nothing like it, but I feel that this is my number one pick. Like, I knew as soon as I smelled it, even as a perfume oil, alcohol free, that I said, this goes well. This, I feel like this is, you know, there won't be an eyelash batted. There won't be a side eye if I bathe with Caress Daily Silk Moisturizing Body Wash and then follow behind with a maybe neutral vanilla lotion and then spray on this Coco Mademoiselle. I'm like, yeah, it works. Now, as far as Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle notes, they are the following. And I don't mind going over this once more, but fragrances, in case the reason why I go over this is because, one, I'm led to do it. Thank you, God. Number two, I realize some people they're not aware of the structure of fragrances. And so they're wondering why I smell like this when I spray it, but then when it dry down, I smell like something. Those are the notes in categories. So base notes, they put in first. Middle notes, they put in on top of them base notes. And top notes, they put on top of the middle notes, which is on top of the base notes. So likely when you first spray out a perfume, you're going to smell, that's what you smell first. When it begins to dry down, you will smell a mix between the middle and the base notes, depending on the concentration and how much of those notes they put in over the other ones in the middle and the base categories. Rewind it back if you don't get it. It's okay. So for Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle, the base notes are, I almost put my hand up a little bit too high. The base notes for Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel bars: patchouli, white musk, vanilla, vetiver. I finally know how to pronounce that. Vetiver. 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 Okay? Sound French. Anywho, I might be wrong. Tonka bean always smells nice, and I see it paired with vanilla a whole lot. And Apopona, X on the end. I assume that, one, I'm pronouncing this wrong, and two, if I am pronouncing it right, the X is silent. That is O-P-O-N-A-X. Opopona. I'm not saying a slang term for somebody's lady parts, okay? Yeah. I might actually put it on the screen so y'all know. Look, I don't do vocal over here, okay? I do direct, plain, but not vocal, okay? All right. There are different levels to what people define as vulgar, okay? That's the actual note, bass notes. Middle notes to Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel. Turkish Rose. I always like seeing this one because it depends on the other notes that surround whatever category, whether they put it in top or middle or bass. Whenever I see Turkish Rose, I'm like, that's not a normal version of Rose. You see what I'm saying? Middle notes are Turkish Rose, Jasmine. I love seeing Jasmine as a note anywhere, top, middle, or bass notes within a fragrance. Mimosa, the drink, okay? Ylang, that's Y-L-A-N-G, Y-L-A-N-G. I feel like that should have been. Now I'm not, look, those are your middle notes. And the top notes to Chanel's Coco Mademoiselle is orange, mandarin orange, bergamot, which I see a lot of in the men's colognes and body care products. So it's an acquired smell. It'll either, I feel like bergamot in a fragrance for women at least, it will either not make or break. It will make it, or it will be one like, that's a grower of a fragrance. You see what I'm saying? Bergamot and orange blossom. Well, I want to say cherry blossom. That would be an interesting combo along with bergamot. That's a mouthful. I feel like, why didn't I try Coco Mademoiselle like sooner? I feel like this should be put, I feel like they should partner with Caress Chanel this year. I can't give you everything. I'm just giving y'all what I was led to say. That's the gift set. The 3.4 ounce, the full size Caress, or either the large mega size pump that's at least 30 ounces and up, something like that. And then give us a Coco Mademoiselle lotion. Make it retail anywhere from $35 to $50 for curtains. Because I feel like Coco Mademoiselle works so well. I feel like it's in the same scent family as Caress Daily Silk. Now keep in mind, one of the notes of Caress Daily Silk is orange blossom, and one of the notes, which is the top notes within Coco Mademoiselle by Chanel, is orange blossom. And I feel like that Turkish Rose is going to show out, and some of these gourmand notes, vanilla, vetiver, and tonka bean, is also going to show out and combine really extremely well with this. The next perfume that I feel would layer well and that I feel would pair really well with Caress Daily Silks. I'm not changing my mind with that. I still stick with it. It still looks like a liquidized pearl, even though they don't reformulate like 2 or 3 more times than my initial review. Brit Burberry for Her. Now, I recommended this, and the video is probably up by then. It's either that Caress Black Orchid and Patchouli oil. I recommended it, that it would pair really well with that body wash, the see-through purple one. Or it will pair well with Caress Shea Butter and Brown Sugar Exfoliating Body Wash. But right now we're talking about Caress Daily Silk. I feel like Brit Burberry, even though the notes, and I'm getting ready to go over, even though none of the notes match with the notes of Caress Daily Silk. Keep in mind, orange blossom is one of the notes that Daily Silk has, okay? I feel like it matches so well. Like every time I have put on a Brit Burberry for Her, perfume oil, alcohol free as well. That was my first introduction to it. It's like, it just works. It's perfect for every day. Like Daily Silk is for every day. You can get away with showering with it and smelling like it every day. The bar soap. I feel like Brit Burberry is the next one, that is the next perfume that layers well, that pairs really well with Caress Daily Silk Body Wash. Now let's go over the notes here. The base notes to Brit Burberry for Her is vanilla, gourmandish, tonka bean, gourmandish, amber, a floral, I think, but gourmandish, and mahogany. I don't see mahogany. Let's pause. I don't see mahogany as much as maybe, maybe I got to go and do more intensive research. But that's the first time I've seen mahogany as a note in any area, base, middle, or top of a fragrance at all. I think we need to start seeing more mahogany as a fragrance note within fragrances. Now, if you know of any fragrances that has mahogany in a note, either it's in the base, the middle, or the top note section, please do feel free to share in the comments. Because this is my first time seeing mahogany. It's just okay. This no wonder it smells good. I'm not saying it's the star of the show. What I'm saying, no wonder it smells good. That's also included in it. The middle notes to Brit Burberry for her are candied almond. I'm thinking you toasted these almonds and you toast and then you poured liquidized sugar in them. More gourmandishness, sugar. Go figure. I had literally just read that right after saying candied almond. I'm not kidding. Sugar, peony, floral note, and Drizay, G, and then there's a punctuation mark above the top, that line, and then there's another E, and it doesn't have that punctuation mark slashed above it. I'm gonna have to learn how to pronounce it. Drizay. Maybe that's how it's pronounced, but I'm gonna learn. I just gave myself homework. Alrighty then. It's so inviting and warm with all the gourmandish notes that it will pair really well with something so light, airy, and floral such as Daily Silk, which has orange blossom as a note in it. And the next perfume that would layer well, and the next perfume that would pair really well with Daily Silk's moisturizing body wash is Poison Girl. Now, I feel like, and this is my personal opinion, I've tried Poison Girl in two formats. I've tried Poison Girl in a alcohol-free perfume oil, a dupe, and I've also tried the real thing. The distinction between the alcohol-free Poison Girl, the perfume oil, and the distinction between that compared to the real thing, the Eau de Parfum, is that the Eau de Parfum smells a bit more floral. It has that sweet note to it, but it disappears very quickly. However, the perfume oil to that smells a bit sweeter. Now, there's a reason why I'm making this distinction and I'm adding context. Poison Girl compared to Brit Burberry, which I feel like Poison Girl and Brit Burberry smell similar, even though their notes are quite different and distinctive from one another. I still feel like it would work with Daily Silk because it'll give you a little to it because it has some gourmandish notes to it. Brit Burberry compared to Poison Girl. Comparing the two perfume oils. I've yet to try the Brit Burberry for her Eau de Parfum. I've only ever tried the oils. But I have had a chance to compare both the perfume oils of Poison Girl and of Brit Burberry for her. I gotta make this distinction for y'all because I don't want y'all to get the wrong idea. In case you're thinking about buying the perfume or the perfume oil. You see what I'm saying? The Eau de Parfum or the alcohol-free perfume oil. You feel me? Okay. If not, we'll wind it back. Alright. I feel like Brit Burberry compared to Poison Girl smells a tad bit less sweeter than the Poison Girl. And the Poison Girl smells more sweeter than Brit Burberry. They smell the same, but then they're not. You have to smell them to know the difference. That's my personal opinion based off the dupes of the perfume oils that are alcohol-free. That means the most concentrated, potent, highest level of concentration. Which means it's going to wear the longest. You're going to be with it the longest until you shower and change clothes. It might actually live in your clothes after you wash your clothes. I've heard of that happening with some perfumes too. That's when you know it's good. Okay? It's good. You wash your clothes like, I can't get it out of my clothes. Depending on what fragrance it is, that's a good thing. That's all I'm saying. So, for Poison Girl by Christian Dior. The base notes are vanilla. I want to say caramel after that. This does not have caramel. I wonder how much that would change if it had caramel as a note in any area, base, middle, or top. Base notes of Christian Dior's Poison Girl Eau de Parfum: vanilla, almond, tonka bean, tolu balsam. So that's TOLU space B as in boy ALSAM as in Mary. Tolu balsam. Hopefully I'm pronouncing it correct. Sandalwood. I love seeing it. However, in order for it to smell like it's not too much, like it's not giving too much of what it don't need to be giving too much of, I feel like it needs to be combined with vanilla and some other notes. Sandalwood, cashmere, so that's not cashmere, so that's CAS as in Mary, ER, A as an apple, N as an S. Cashmere. That's either a variation of cashmere, which is a combination of gourmandish notes, vanilla, and so forth, and heliotrope. Okay. Middle notes of Christian Dior's Poison Girl Eau de Parfum is damask rose. That's not a normal rose. Okay. Grass rose. That's not a normal rose either. So the middle notes to Christian Dior's Poison Girl Eau de Parfum, or Damask Rose. That's not a normal rose. I'm actually wondering what it smells like separately from this perfume. Grass Rose. That's also not a normal rose. And I'm wondering, does it smell more like grass, or does it smell more like, rose with a hint of grass? I'm curious. I'm also a consumer, not just, person here dropping videos. Okay? All right. Orange Blossom. Now that is a note that does align with Caress Daily Silk Moisturizing Body Wash. That does have an orange blossom note in it as well. Am I saying because these fragrances may or may not have a similar makeup fragrance wise of Caress Daily Silk, like they have to have orange blossom? I didn't know until today. Okay, see, I was today's years old doing research. There's that. The top notes of Christian Dior Poison Girl Eau de Parfum are bitter orange. If you new here, let me tell you how I feel about citrus notes. Bitter orange and lemon, both citrus notes. I feel like if your body chemistry is not favorable to that, you're going to wind up smelling like a sour orange or a sour lemon, of which you either have to do internal work and drink more water. I'm not a medical professional, or either you have to see doc and figure out what's going on, or either think about combining maybe something sweeter like vanilla or gourmandish notes to offset your body chemistry, turning those citrusy notes into something unpleasant. Okay, that's my personal recommendation. However, if they are favorable, it doesn't hurt to also have a vanilla note and some gourmandish notes within them. Pumpkin, bourbon, vanilla. I feel like anything bourbon and it's a gourmandish note, bourbon, vanilla, bourbon, pumpkin, bourbon, even fruity notes, bourbon, cherry. That's real grown, because you got to think about what it takes to bourbonize something. That's a deep, it's almost a deep, sultry, I don't want to say smoky, because then that's gonna make me think of barbecue scent. And the deeper and bolder a fragrance is, and it's gourmandish, it smells like a cookie, it smells like pie. I mean, the more people tend to like it, in my opinion. If you are looking for any fragrances, and these recommendations are based off of what I've tried already. I have gone in the shower, gone to the bathroom, gone in my shelf. I take Daily Silk out. I'm gonna take Coco Mademoiselle or Brit Burberry or Poison Girl. And I get the spraying and layering and going. And then you ever get out from the house and it's like, what did I use again? Or somebody asks you, what did I use again? Because you're trying to tell them. These are the best 3 that I know of currently that would pair really well. These are the best perfumes that I feel layer really well with Caress Daily Silk. 1, Coco Mademoiselle. 2, Burberry's Brit Burberry for her. And 3, Christian Dior's Poison Girl Eau de Parfum. Now, if you missed something, I'm gonna need you to rewind it back and take notes, because I want you to get it. Love you. When I think about love, it's one of the bravest things that you can do. It is patient, it is kind, it does not envy or boast, and it'll keep you on the coast of not being rude or self-seeking, nor is it easily angered or seething mad, and it keeps no records of wrongs. It has no pleasure in evil, but it rejoices in the truth. And most of all,